by Cyber Reason.
Brady drops back with a play fake. He's pressured. He's wrapped up. He's sacked. Matt Judon has another for the Patriots back in the 28.
Turn that man loose.
The Patriots Postgame Show, presented by Cyber Reason, with Hardy, Mike Dussault, and Paul Perillo, is your source for all the news and information following every Patriots game.
Shotgun snap to Mac Jones. Fires to the end zone. Caught at the goal line. It's a touchdown for Hunter Henry as the Patriots add to their lead.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
I hope y'all keep that same energy for tonight, baby. Can't wait.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
Slipping and sliding, he was like a cat. Pop, pop, bang. What happened? What happened? Patriots postgame.
Can I just have a rant?
Yeah,
I promised Mike I would give him a little time to write.
Yeah, go ahead.
You can't treat the last play of the regulation as if you're losing. Like, you can't just recklessly throw the ball around. Okay? Patriots did a lot of really good things in that game, and ultimately they may have punched their ticket out of the postseason because of abject stupidity. End of rant. Go ahead.
No, I think that sums it up perfectly as the Patriots suffer a 30-24 loss to the Raiders in Las Vegas. Welcome into the Patriots postgame presented by Cyber Reason. On the final play, that I guess you could take a shot there. Patriots on their own 45, 3 seconds left, I believe, on the clock. Tie game, 24-all. And instead of taking a shot at the end zone, you see Josh McDaniels on the sideline before the ball was snapped, telling everybody on defense to get back. You're gonna rush maybe two guys to keep them honest, and that's it. Seeing that and taking what the defense has given them, right. The ball is snapped. Mac Jones hands off to Ramondre Stevenson, who squirts loose and starts moving the ball downfield. Ramondre Stevenson then laterals the ball back to Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers then attempts a pass to I don't know who, Paul. I don't know who Jacoby Myers was trying to pass the ball to.
The only one in the vicinity it looked like was Mac Jones. But when you understand like the point that I'm trying to make, right?
I'm
like
just
if let's say they were down a point on that play, you can't get tackled. Like, you have to keep the play alive as long as you can. Who cares if you lose by 1 or by 8? It's a tie game. You're going to overtime. Even the Ramondre Stevenson pitch out, and we're watching the replay on Red Zone, that was just as stupid. And then Myers is throwing it back in the general direction of no one in particular, but Mac Jones was the closest one, and then Chandler Jones is gone. Like, that's unbelievable. I've never seen that play's worse than the Miami Miracle.
Oh yeah, because this is reckless.
This is worse than the Miami Miracle.
Miami Miracle is ineptitude, and
there was some fortune involved for Miami. This is just stupidity,
right?
And I know people are going to be like, I can't believe he's talking like that. That's just abject stupidity, and I'm worked up if you can't tell. Like, if you don't put that at least a little bit on coaching and a lack of preparation, I don't know what to tell. Like, you don't go over that play and say, hey, look, we'll pop a draw here. Maybe like Ramondre in the open field, maybe he breaks 2 tackles and busts it. Who knows, right? But I wouldn't think you'd have to go over it and say, let's not be reckless with the football and just toss it around. That's the strangest. That, I'm telling you, I'll say it again, that is far worse than the Miami Miracle. Far worse.
Right, because this required you to, as you, I think you very, very aptly put it, treat the end of that game as though you were down when, in fact, it was a tie game, and all you had to do, if you weren't going to score, and it had to be a touchdown with time expiring, you just play for the overtime. And you don't have to run another play. It's just take it out of bounds. Don't throw it backwards. And I believe he was trying to throw it backwards to Mac Jones, who was still essentially where he was when the play began. I don't know that he had moved downfield all that much. I've watched it 3 times
but
now.
Let's just say, for argument's sake, it goes to Mac Jones. You're watching it, okay?
Yes.
So let's say, for argument's sake, he throws it across the field and it goes to Mac Jones. Then what? So right here, like you're watching on your iPad, I know our fans can't see it yet, He's at the 50-yard, the 40, his own 45-yard line. He can no longer throw the ball downfield. You know that, right? Like, the ball's already crossed the line of scrimmage. That would be an illegal forward pass.
Yeah, so what's Mac Jones going to do? Run it 60 yards into the end zone?
Exactly. Wow, was that stupid. Was that stupid.
And Mac Jones, I mean, not to his credit, but just to show you how ridiculous this was, when the play begins, the Patriots are on their own 45. He takes the snap. He's back at the 40. And he's back there around the 38 or so. Ball gets downfield. When Myers goes to throw it back, Mac Jones has only moved up to about the 44-yard line. He was not going to engage in this nonsense. Mac Jones wasn't going to have any part of this. He was back there watching as an objective observer.
Absolutely.
That's
not on Mac. I know people. I have a couple of people have already said that was a terrible attempt at a tackle.
Mac Jones couldn't believe they were doing what they were doing.
It's a big athletic defensive end, and all of a sudden, Mac Jones looks up, and the other team has the ball, and he's in a guy's right in his face. Like, now we're getting to see some of the pictures on our feed too here. Like, I'm sorry, could Mac Jones have made the tackle? Yeah, it would have been a great play to save the game had he made that tackle. Like, I don't put any of that on Mac Jones. Now, the rest of the game, there's plenty on Mac Jones. We'll get to that in a bit. I would imagine. But
he was there. He attempted to make the tackle. Chandler Jones is a monster.
That's what I'm saying. Like, comparatively, he just stiff-armed him right to the ground, and then he is gone.
You want him to be Ben Roethlisberger now? No. I think he's shocked that it's happening. And even if he was expecting it, he's not going to make that tackle. You don't blame Mac Jones on that. All right, well, as you can imagine, the lines are loaded here. 855-PATS-500, webradio@patriots.com. First, we have to get to the good, the bad, and the injured.
Now, it's time for the good.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
The bad.
Hey, what happened?
And the injured.
You all right, Gay?
Good players, bad players, injured players. They're the ones responsible. They get all praise as we bring you this segment, and then we will get to your distressed phone calls in here at 855-PATS-500, Patriots Postgame Show. The good list is going to be mercifully short. We begin with you, Mike Dussault.
Wait, I wrote these throughout the game, and now I'm going through it. I'm like, no, he had a really bad end of game. He had a really bad end of game. Where do I go? I'm going to go Kyle Duggar. I had that pick six. I almost forgot about that. I'll mention that real quick. I'm sorry. I'm just gathering my thoughts right now.
He was the first one I wrote down. I didn't see anything worthy of a good before that. I mean,
no,
I had a couple of things.
I had Marcus Jones just for that pass breakup, but I mean, they picked on him in the last drive, and it's hard to pick him when I think three of the final. But
I like your pick at Duggar. I thought without this, to be quite honest, when they came out and went 3, I think they might not have gone 3-0, but they had to punt on their first drive, down 17-3. I thought the Raiders moved the ball fairly effectively in the first half. I was anticipating them going down and getting at least a field goal there, and I was thinking that the game's going to be over. And then on the second or third play, Duggar just instinctively, that's good prep work, good film work, good study, and he jumps that screen, and that completely changed the game and allowed the Patriots to thoroughly dominate the second half. So, yeah, I agree with Mike. I had Kyle Duggar, and I know, Hardy, you said that was the first one you wrote down too. So, I mean, sometimes you get on just for one play, and that play was a special play for Kyle Duggar.
So that one was good. I wrote it down. It's worthy of a mention. Like I said, there's not a whole lot to mention here. I mean, maybe some stuff here in the second half. But Paul, what was your first good that maintained as a good?
Yeah, well, I would say Ramondre Stevenson. Playing hurt today. He wasn't 100% healthy. You know that by the fact that he didn't even start the game. Looked like they intended to use him a little bit on third downs, but all of a sudden he ends up with 19 for 172. Rips off a 30-whatever-yard touchdown run to put the Patriots ahead at the end of the game. I just thought he consistently was breaking tackles, running away from tackles, and I thought he was really good again, Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah, I had him too before he started the ill-attempted lateral palooza.
The ill-advised fire drill. Wait a second. We're not losing. Oh, no, it's too late. Let's just get it out of the way right now. Nick Folk, Nice long field goal. Needed it. Was part of the game today. This was the 3 for 3 on his field goals, including the 54-yarder and the extra point. So we'll put Nick Folk on.
Yeah, and I'm sure you had him like when he made an extra point. But you're right, Hardy. Long field goal. And listen, they were going to have a hard time scoring touchdowns. Yeah. It was apparent when they got down there and they had the problems. And then he bangs a 54-yarder to get him within one, right? That was a 54-yarder on that one?
Yes, 54.
But that made it, 17-16. He had a 47-yarder. Yeah, Nick Folk strongly on the good list for me.
I don't have anything for receivers.
All right, so I don't have
plays.
anything for the receivers. I don't really have anything other than Ramondre Stevenson offensively.
Yeah.
I thought the running game was good, but it was basically Stevenson. He averaged over 9 yards a carry.
Yeah, my radar just went up with Jacoby on that 39-yarder, towards the end where,
big
if they
play.
had held on, that would have been a play to highlight as, didn't do a lot in the game coming back. But I'm sorry, guys. This is
yeah, it's a stunning game. And I know,
stunning.
so just to let everybody, I'll peek behind the curtain a little bit. Mike generally writes like quick hitters right after the game, so you're sort of reliant on the flow of the game.
Yeah.
Mike, just right.
No, they're right. It's written. It's published.
So
and
you're writing in such a manner in which you think the outcome is going to be decided in a certain way.
Yeah,
you don't really ever be able to anticipate the game being decided in that manner. So
not a
Mike
winner
is
or
kind of
loss,
scrambling a little bit.
But it was going to be decided in overtime.
Right.
As you're writing toward the end of that. Right.
I'm good. I finished my writing. I'm a master now, keeping the door open. Can I just rant for a second? Because it's just what a disgusting way to lose. I'm sick right now because I could accept kind of going down like you've played all season long. And for a large portion of the game, it seemed like that's where it was headed. And then all of a sudden, the defense started stepping up and making plays and opening the door for the offense. And they didn't do a lot early on. They got a couple field goals. They got the ball at midfield. They made, maybe like 8 yards. They got 6 yards tacked on from a penalty. They were able to make a field goal out of that. Then they made those 2 plays with Stevenson and Myers back-to-back. Myers first, then Stevenson. To have this kind of like mental collapse when it looked like you were about to pull a game out of your butts that you hadn't been able to do all season long, something that you've been waiting almost, I would say, 3 years for them to have and not that the Raiders are that great, but the Raiders are pretty good. You were on the verge of a win that I felt was going to turn things around. And, look, there's only 3 games left. There's only so much you can do at this point. But if you wanted to talk about a win that I thought the team desperately needed, it looked like they were just about to get it. And then it all comes crashing down with just a terribly, terribly stupid mistake that I'll love to hear what the thinking was behind that, and if that was just players going rogue and trying to do it themselves, or if the coaches had told them, like, this is what we want to try to do because it seems, as Paul so aptly put it, idiotic for the way that they approach that. So a devastating loss. I don't know how this is all going to play out, but it's just so frustrating because had they just lost straight up, I could deal with it. But don't
totally
show
agree.
you what you could almost do and almost be a good team and almost be a team that can turn things around and play really well, and then you just completely erase everything good you did in the game.
I would just slightly amend that. I love Mike's rant there because I think he's dead on. But I would just say they so close showed you that they could win a game that was important. Yep. I don't think they looked like a very good team today in winning the game. The other team just pooped all over itself for the entire game with 13 penalties and God knows what else. Then to Mike's point, we were in the middle of the good list. I did have Marcus Jones on the good list. I think he was asked to cover Devontae Adams a lot today. I thought there were a lot of plays that Derek Carr looked like he got very comfortable back in the pocket, looked around, and didn't have anything. So that coverage back there had to be pretty good. All that said, the last drive was just like 4th and 10, easy pitch and catch.
Yeah.
Marcus Jones, I thought he was terrific. But 3 straight outs, for 10, 12 yards?
2 comebacks and
comebacks?
And then the Cole touchdown.
Was that Marcus Jones? Or is that Jonathan Jones? Now that
in my brain, it was Marcus Jones.
Okay, so anyway, I thought the defense was really, really good in the second half. But you got to finish the deal. You got to close it out. So, to you guys' point about the goods, I had Lawrence Guy and Devon Godshaw on the good because I thought they had some on early downs, some interior pressure. That's not what those guys are asked to do. And I thought after a shaky first half, they cleaned up the Josh Jacobs. I thought that Josh Jacobs was a going problem the whole first half, and then the second half he wasn't. So I had Lawrence Guy and Devon Godshaw on my good list.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just rant-wise, as we talk about that last play, I'm going to rant and and get Bill in trouble for something that he has not yet done. But when he is asked about that final play, I have a feeling his answer is going to be something along the lines of just didn't execute, trying to make a play.
Yeah.
Just trying to make a play to win, just trying to win the football game.
Yeah, David Andrews was asked if the plan was involving laterals, and he said you'll have to ask the coaches about that. So my guess is the plan was not to be,
and can you guys recall for me what were the laterals? Where did they go? It was Stevenson.
Stevenson got the handoff and ran about 20 yards.
Yeah,
I think he got credited for a 23-yard
run. We're getting a little excited for a second,
right? And then he stops, and you can watch the replay right here, Mike, as we're talking.
Yeah.
He gets hemmed in, and there's no way he's going to break three, and he flips it back to Jacoby Myers, who throws it
too high,
like 20 yards across the
Too
field,
hard.
about 10 yards backwards, right to Chandler Jones with only Mac Jones. So like I said, let's say Chandler Jones isn't there and Mac Jones catches it with nobody near him. Now
What's he gonna do? He ain't running anywhere.
He's 55 yards from the end zone, and your quarterback is not Justin Fields. Yeah. Like, that was destined to get like an injury or something bad happen.
Let me tell you something.
Does that mean Jacoby threw a touchdown?
Oh, wow, Mike, that was bad. That was bad. That was Paul like snark there. I'll save that.
Sorry, I'm laughing through the tears right now.
I'll save that for Tuesday. But like, I do think their defense almost won them a game single-handedly, because that was in a season worth. We'll get to the bad, I guess. In a season worth of horrific offense, today was the horrificest. That was as bad an offensive performance as you'll see. The passing game was utterly inept. Either Mac was off, or when he did throw a good ball, Hunter Henry dropped it. Like they had opportunities to make plays, couldn't get Tyquan Thornton can't get his feet in bounds. They just were terrible.
Let me tell you something.
Terrible in the passing game today. And they still should have won the game because the defense gave them a chance to win the game.
And give Chandler Jones credit for staying on his feet.
For pile driving the quarterback into the ground.
For pile driving the quarterback, because he stayed on his feet after that. Had he gone down, plays dead.
Yeah.
Because Mac had made contact. And, my inclination would be to get up and try and run it in anyway. But no, he would have been down. And so anyway, to finish what I was saying about the coach, I have a feeling we are going to get something along the lines of just trying to make a play, just, trying to win the football game. That's all we're trying to do. And he's not going to give any other explanation. Whereas his other most commonly uttered phrase is, we're just trying to do what's best for the team. We're just trying to do what's best. How in God's name is that what's best?
See, here's the thing, and I think all of the criticism that anyone could have for Bill Belichick and the coaching in general on that play, I think is valid, because I think a well-coached team doesn't do that. I just can't imagine that was the plan.
You think they went rogue?
Yeah, I do. I don't think Bill said, hey, if you get in trouble and you start throwing laterals around, like, it's a tie game. I don't think that was something that they said, let's take some chances. Go out there and throw it around.
So the theory might be then that Ramondre Stevenson started the party and Jacoby's like, I guess we're doing this.
Right, because Stevenson deserves every bit as much blame as Myers.
Yeah.
Watching it again, it's no better than Myers.
That's what I'm saying.
That
Absolutely.
lateral back that from
there were a lot of Raiders around when Myers caught his too.
And they're right on the sideline with no one there back to stop them. Had they just run it down the sideline, this touchdown could have been scored from the 30. Look, if that goes the other way,
right? He goes right down the sideline. He's gone.
There's no one to stop
You're
him.
absolutely right. All the Patriots are downfield, and it looks like he's like, he's at. Remember where all the Raiders were? There was 3 guys on the line. Everybody else was back inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah.
That's why Ramondre Stevenson got 23 yards, because for the one play all game that Josh had his team well coached, because that was just the Keystone Cops, that game. That was a terrible football game by 2 terrible teams.
I'll tell
you.
That's one of my takeaways, too. And coming in, I don't know what I was expecting. I just thought the Raiders were going to look like we thought the Raiders were going to look in the preseason. But they got the same problems the Patriots do. They can't get out of their own way. Mistakes. I mean, so much of what they did was undercut. Credit to the Patriots defense in the middle portion, but just not impressed, especially given the guys they had. I think I probably overstated Waller, Renfro, their impact. I don't think that they
weren't
close
ready.
To,
they weren't ready yet.
They weren't really ready. It left them really going to Mac Hollins a lot, probably more than they wanted to. But still, it's just what's disappointing is I came in ready to say, hey, they did a really good job against Devontae Adams. I mean,
they did.
You talk about,
Do you see they put that graphic up? You might not have seen it, Mike. Yeah. They had a graphic. It was Justin Jefferson, 9 for 136 and a touchdown. Stephon Diggs 7 for whatever and a touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins 7 for 80 and whatever. This week it was like 4 for. Let me look it up. So I'll get the right numbers. 4 for 28. Like
that's shutting them down.
I'm sorry. Big difference between this game and the Minnesota game in terms of taking the other team's number one player and controlling them. That's controlling them. 9 targets, 4 catches for Davante Adams, and that was, like I said, that's why I gave that. That's a tough assignment for Marcus Jones, and he was involved in that assignment a lot. I thought he did a really nice job. If we want to move on to the bads, Hardy?
Yeah, we might as well. And
I think we exhausted the lateral play.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, that's it. That's the biggest, baddest of them all is the final play of the game. What else stuck out as a bad in this game for you, Mike?
I had Hunter Henry on that drop on 3rd and 6.
Bad
drop. You look back at it, looks even worse right now with that play right at the end, a chance to close it out, to go on the last drive. I mean, you had to wonder at what point are we using up all the goodwill the defense is giving us. With 5 straight stops. Is that too much?
But that was even before that. That was when they were still losing, 17-16. They got the ball.
Oh, I thought that was in a closeout drive.
No. Oh, I'll get to the closeout drive.
I'm a mess.
That's a huge play.
But still, 3rd down drop.
It was 17-16. They're losing, 3rd down. Mac, that's one of the few good balls that Mac threw. He put it right in his hands, and he dropped it. And then you had a punt. Now the defense got it back for him, and they ended up scoring. But that was a bad drop by Hunter Henry.
What do you have on your bad list?
I'm gonna follow up on Mike, and I'm gonna go to the last drive. So after the 17, so now it's 17-16. You get the ball back, you get out and score to make it 24-17. Raiders go 3 and out. They punt the ball back to you with 2 and change left, 2 timeouts.
Yep.
2 short runs. I think you had a false start in the middle by Connor McDermott, I believe. It was like a 2-yard run, a false start, then a 2-yard run. It was 3rd and 11. Fake play action, naked bootleg with Mac Jones.
Oh God!
Like he's going to get 11
yards.
Like, are we going to try to get the first down?
You got to assume everybody's going, and that not even.
Like I would have rather a draw to Ramondre Stevenson and see if he can hit a crease, and then he's tough to take down. So I thought that was a horrifically called series. Horrifically executed series. I didn't think, to be completely honest, that it was going to matter because of the way that the Raiders just looked so inept offensively, but ultimately it did.
Yeah.
That was a terrible sequence, I thought, that 3 and out.
Brutal. Going back to the very first score of the game for the Patriots to make it 3-3, the fact that they got down to 1st and goal, had to use 2 timeouts, and got called for a false start as they're knocking on the door.
I had that. That was the first thing I had.
I mean, to me, that's how the game started, and it set the tone for the rest of the day for the same old.
And I also want to add in. Sorry, Hardy, I thought you were done.
No. Had the Patriots won this game, I think we would have learned at least a little something about their ability to come back and to finish. And it wasn't going to be a total repeat of the Arizona game, saying like they won, but did we really learn anything? Not really offensively, but you know what? The defense held them in check in the second half, and the offense put together enough plays to score some points. And you could have
found a way to win an important game.
Found a way to win an important game, and it wasn't pretty. But now we're left with, it's that same old crap.
Right.
And you get down there on the doorstep to start the game. You got to call timeout twice, and you end up settling for a field goal and throwing a false start in there as well.
So the false start, that's where I thought you were done, Hardy.
Yeah.
The false start is a huge component of this because I didn't really hear the announcers mention it. I didn't hear them say. Evidently, Stevenson's now credited with 172 yards. Is that what he had? Like 19 for 172. I think I might have.
They didn't subtract the ones going back.
I might have screwed that up.
172.
Earlier, but 19 for 172.
Yeah.
The false start that ultimately they take 2 timeouts. They had 1 timeout that overturned a converted touchdown. All of that stuff that happened, and then they go for it on 4th down, and they go with a sneak. And Mac called for the signal before John. That wasn't on. John O. Smith gets called for the penalty because he wasn't set, but he's coming in motion, and Mac called for the signal. Like he wasn't
as the punt.
He wasn't like that. Wasn't John O. Smith's fault. That was Mac's fault.
Yeah,
I think.
Same as the punt, right?
The punt.
Guys aren't ready.
Well, yeah.
For some reason they're snapping the ball.
Take that as an next bad. Why don't you break that down for us? I don't know whose turn it is.
Right. No, but like when you have guys in motion, when you have guys moving around pre-snap, it's the quarterback's responsibility to make sure that everybody's set.
Right.
When it's one thing to go in motion and you're moving at the snap, but when you're going in motion and you're going to ultimately land in a spot and set, you need to be. That's a very big element of the 2-minute drill. When guys are moving around, you have to make sure everybody's set for a snap count. That's on the quarterback. That's the quarterback's responsibility. And ultimately, that was just awful. 2 timeouts and overturned touchdowns, and you come away with a field goal because of your ineptitude. That was terrible.
Terrible.
And the blocked punt, I think Mike is right about this. Mike and I talked about this. It looked like Adrian Phillips. Why does I call him Adrian Peterson? Adrian Phillips was like pointing and look. He was like the personal protector.
Yeah,
and
still pointing stuff.
I don't know, like when the ball gets snapped, if Cardona snapped it, maybe he saw the signal to snap it before it was. It didn't look like any Patriots were ready to block. And the announcer said that's why Jabril Peppers was in such good position to prevent the touchdown.
Just so everyone knows, it is generally the personal punt protectors back there calling for the snap. The punters. I think so. The punter's too far away, and especially if it was loud there and it wasn't more Patriots fans than Raiders fans, then you just. So that's generally how it goes. Home or away, both teams.
Some kind of communication. Somebody taps them on the butt. All right,
something
good to go.
Somewhere,
and then I don't know.
They weren't ready. There were literally guys on the line facing the wrong direction when that ball got snapped.
But I think like the point too with like those plays is that they lost on like a terrible final play, and that's its own thing. But it was still more of the same. Like it's still kind of like. That's why you lost ultimately. You gave up a block punt and then a score. And your defense, they played good for 5 drives, but then they couldn't get the stop at the end. So I guess what I'm coming around to is like as much as it felt like it was shaping up to be different, it really wasn't different.
But that's
the same thing.
And that's why when you went on your rant, Mike, and I said I agree with everything you said, but the slight thing was like, they could beat a good, like, no, they didn't. Like, I think this would have been very similar to last week. And we would have been saying, what did we really learn?
Yeah.
They won a game that they had to win, and that would have been what we learned. Yeah. Like, the season's hanging on the line. You can't really afford these losses. You couldn't afford to lose one of these 2 games, and you lost one of them. You would have won it and at least still had a season. But I don't know that you can win a game. How do you think the Raiders were on offense today? Like, how did you think they performed on offense?
Essentially like the Patriots. They made a handful of plays.
So the Raiders had 308 yards of offense. Terrible. What do you think the Patriots had?
270.
318.
318.
Yeah.
Counting the 23-yard run on the last play of the game. Like, this was you can't say the Patriots defense dominated the Raiders without saying the Raiders defense dominated the Patriots. But I think that we would all say Raiders defense didn't dominate anything. Patriots offense was bad. And I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree. I think the biggest problem with the Raiders offense today was they couldn't go 2 plays without a false start.
Yeah. Right.
Like, I don't think it was really anything. I think the Patriots did a good job on Adams, as I said, but I don't think it was really anything exotic that the Patriots did defensively. They just continuously got behind the chains because they committed 13 penalties. Yeah. And I think 9 of them were on offense.
Man.
Absolutely brutal.
Yeah. Like, I don't really think if they had won the game, obviously we would have a much different feel. And we're accentuating all the negatives because of the ridiculousness of the end of the game. But I don't really think they played all that well again. Like, as a team.
Oh, yeah.
Defensively, they played well.
No.
But as a team, I don't think this was playoff football from start to finish.
I mean, it's the
block
same.
Punts.
It's the same team. It's the same team you've been watching for 4 months now.
Same issues on the offensive line. There was a play early on. It's like, oh, Max got time. I said, that's how much time a quarterback is
normally
supposed to have.
Yeah, that was the one play, the crossing route to Tyquan Thornton on the third down early.
That's the one. And either someone in here or someone in the announcer said, oh, Mac with all kinds of time. Compared to the amount of time that he's had this season, yes.
Yeah.
But that's what you're supposed to get. I would say at least 1 or 2 plays per drive.
And the Raiders didn't heat him up today. The Raiders played coverage, and they kind of contained the passing game. I mean,
right. And
13 for 31 for 112. Sorry, Mac Jones is on the bad list today. I hope you guys agree.
No, and those numbers speak for themselves. It's not like, Mac played better than 13 of 31 for 112 yards. No, he didn't.
Maybe 15 for 31. He had a couple that could have been caught that weren't, but not many.
I thought from the outset he seemed off. He did. I mean, off by Mac Jones.
The first 2 incompletions that he threw way short and wide. I think they were both to Myers.
Yep. So that's where we stand. Any more bads that you want to accentuate?
Go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to mention Phillips on the coverage on Waller. I mean, I thought he probably should have had him, but
it looked like he had him. I know McCourty was really upset. I don't know if he was supposed to be over there.
Bracketed. I mean, just hitting it. I mean, it's like Tom Brady against Buffalo in 09.
He beat him off the jump right down the seam.
Just boom, strike.
I had the penalties and the delays, timeouts, all that stuff, and
I mean 2 for 13 on third down. I mean, just it's the same stuff. They can't when it's on the line, they can't do it. And
one of
over
those
one in the red
conversions
zone
was a penalty.
So it's just I guess where I'm at right now is I thought this game was a must win.
Yeah.
But in this fashion, it's just what's the fallout going to be? What's the fallout going to be around with the team? What's going to be the fallout around here with what people are talking about? Who's going to get the blame for this ending? Like, where is it all going to fall? Because it's probably not going to fall on any of the players'
It's not going to
shoulders.
fall on anything yet because they're 7-7, and all you got to do is win out. All you got to do is beat Bengals. They didn't look too good today.
I mean, that's and I mean, I know you're slightly joking. They might have whatever the percent chances. I'm sure we're going to talk about a path tomorrow on a program of some sort, but. This was it. That's how it ended. That was it. That was that right there. And I mean, I didn't think that they were going to probably get there anyway, but you're always going to remember where this season ended, and it was right there on that last play.
Yeah, and I do think we've been on for a good 20 minutes anyway. And I do want to bring up, I often rant about the catches, right? What's a catch? And that ball hit the ground, but it didn't move. It should be a catch. They call it incomplete, whatever. I don't understand how a league that makes billions and billions of dollars can't have a camera angle that we can definitively see if Keenan Cole was in bounds. Like, I saw the overhead shot that everybody else did, and my initial reaction was the same as probably every other Patriots fan. Kind of looks like he's out of bounds. But I can't honestly tell you with a hand on the Bible, I know he was out of bounds, and I think that's what the referee ultimately called. Yeah. I can't tell. And I think it's embarrassing that there's, like, the night game, the NBC Sunday Night Football, and they have NBC it? Yeah. And they take it, and then they have, like, they would have had this overhead shot that we're going to show right now, and they would have stopped it right there, and then NBC it would go whoop,
zoom in,
and
on
you
it,
would
yeah.
see with absolute certainty if his toe was on the white. It looks to me, and I'm sure all Patriots fans think the same way, that he's out of bounds, right? It looks to me like he might be on the line. I'm just telling you, I can't tell that definitively.
Well, and
I think he's out of bounds, but I can't call it if I'm the referee on what I think.
I think he is too. But this is where I end up talking to people and sound like you're a fan of the other team. It's not it. I have to talk to people like they're children, and this is when you get into a question of line of vision and camera angles.
Right.
And Deuce, you worked in the business. You know what it's like. From that angle, everything in the background is going to appear closer. You can't tell that camera is above and behind the line that we need. We need a camera that's either right down the line or one from the opposite angle
Great
to
job,
give you
guys,
some perspective.
with the freeze there in the circle.
Yeah,
But
so
you zoom in if you can. Now.
And if you,
ultimately you'd only have. I think Hardy just nailed it. Like it's a not $1 million. It's a multi-billion-dollar operation.
Like,
why can't all 16 games be afforded the same camera angles, coverage, and access to replay?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have a Sunday night game. So you're telling me if this game didn't get flexed, flexed, the Patriots may have won 24-7. Now here's the other thing. The Raiders easily got all the way down to the 30-yard line, and that was only second down. So it's not like if this is an incomplete pass, the game is over.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
But you're telling me if this was on Sunday Night Football and this game wasn't flexed, we would know for sure if he was in or out. And then maybe the Patriots win 24-17.
It's on Fox.
And oh, by the way, no difference. Oh, it was Marcus Jones. You're right, Deuce. Yeah. By the way, no difference. 8-6, 7-7. What's the big deal? What are you all upset? Why, Paul? Why is your voice cracking? Oh, I don't know. The difference between making the playoffs and not?
Yeah.
Or having a chance at least? Because like Hardy says, now you got Cincinnati, Miami, and Buffalo, and you got to win probably all three of them, but at least two of them.
Oh, all three.
And just
did the Chargers win?
Just for
the Chargers won.
For posterity's sake, for how you're going to think about next season, that probably I believe will end up being the difference as to whether or not you end up having a winning or losing season. Mm-hmm. And now that we're with these 17 games, 8-9, 9-8, what's the difference? you won more than you lost. And if you miss out on the playoffs, what's the difference? There's a difference. I think there's a difference when you're looking at how effective things are going to be going forward and how you can reasonably assume to play next year without making some big changes. So that's the difference. I will say one more thing about that catch before we start. Well, we'll take care of the injuries and start taking your calls. If you're just looking at it and you're going to examine it like the Zapruder film, I know all the stuff below the grass is the the black pellet synthetic dirt material that they use or whatever the hell they use in on that field.
Okay.
I see nothing coming up out of the ground from the toe drag that is white.
It was black.
It's all black. Now, is that all stuff that's underneath? Can you not see it because it's? I don't know. But if you're trying to convince me that 100% his toe is out of bounds, you can't convince me just based on the angles that we've seen. I think he was out, but based on the evidence, I can't prove it to you. And for once, I would say the officials, even if they got the call on the field wrong, upon further review, they did the right thing by not changing it. I wish they would have done the same with Hunter Henry's touchdown, which was called a touchdown, and upon further review, they had not changed it. Paul, I know you disagree with that, but sometimes they change things I don't believe should be changed.
I don't think the Hunter Henry play should have been overturned.
Okay.
I don't disagree with you
okay,
on that.
Good.
You asked me in the pregame show if I thought they got it right by the letter of the law, and I said no. I don't think they got it right by the letter of the law. I think he caught the ball.
But based on review, they should not have changed it.
I agree.
Okay. All right. So
because I think he caught it. I don't think it was. I don't think there was not enough evidence to overturn it. I think he caught the ball.
Okay, but they ruled it a catch.
Right.
Yes, and
they overturned it.
Yeah. Well,
but real quick, I know we have to take a break and get into calls and stuff. Jacoby Myers with tears in his eyes couldn't have been more accountable. I'm reading from Chris Mason's tweet here. Took questions with tears in his eyes, took all the blame, wouldn't deflect any to the coaches or to Stevenson for giving him the ball, said it was all on him. So that's why, you hear me and Mike often talking about players, and it seems like we have crushes on guys. Unabashedly, Marcus Jones is one of my crushes. That's why Mike and I like Jacoby Myers as much as we do.
Yeah, and I mean... Good. I mean, credit to him. It's unfortunate it came down to him making that play because this play will be remembered for a while.
Well, as you put it, Mike, it might be remembered as the play that effectively ended this season and the chances for the postseason.
Yeah, and in some ways, I don't think it's necessarily fair because I don't think that they stack up with the Bengals or with the Dolphins or the Bills. I mean, maybe they could have stolen from the Dolphins, but I kind of thought they were going to lose these ones. And you go down swinging against a good team. You hate seeing it happen on a terrible play that you some reason tried yourself. But credit to Jacoby. I feel bad for him.
Let's step aside here quickly. Then we'll get right into the calls. Eric, Giovanni, David, you guys will be up first. 1, 2, 3 as. The Patriots Postgame Show, which is presented by Cyber Reason, and they remind you. Cyber Reason reminds you, great defenders don't just play on the field. They're also protecting your company and data. Cyber Reason on a mission to end ransomware and keep your business undefeated against cyber attacks. Learn more at cyberreason.com/ransom.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in PC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes Cyber Reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
$1 million for picking players? That's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half of one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
TouchView Interactive.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
Stop yelling at Spee.
Well, I mean, let's not try to make this out to be a zappy thing and it's a shot at Mac. Of all people, I'm defending Bill.
What do you think of Mac's game?
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
To your calls, 855-PATS-500. Patriots lose.
Boy.
In spectacular fashion. Well, a couple of weeks ago it was unceremoniously. Tonight it's spectacular. It was a spectacle, the final play.
It was real.
In Los Angeles.
And it was, I don't know if I'd say spectacular.
It was, no,
spectacular.
by exact definition of the word, it was a spectacle. It was a Sin City extravaganza.
Vegas, baby. That's what happens.
Final play.
Game was fixed. We didn't touch on that angle.
Did anyone see Jacoby Myers in
of course.
Casino last night?
Of course. Eric in New Jersey.
Who at least been in overtime.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Eric, what's up?
Hey, Eric.
Hey, just like I called in on earlier on the pregame show. Like I said, I wanted to see some guys on that defense step up. I thought they had that with the soft coverage. I thought they had those 10-yard outs all game if Derek Carr wanted to take them. But it was putrid football on both ends. It was tough. It was a tough watch. Not as bad as some of the earlier ones in the year. But the offense, again, just nothing's going to change. So we'll have to beat that horse. But the defense there, guys were active. I thought Bentley was, we were a little aggressive today, sending the linebackers in. I thought there was some pressure, on Carr during the game. But again, the tale that never ends. For 3 years, defense can't make a stop when it matters most. We get super soft. It was very passive there on that last drive where the Raiders just marched downfield and again, guys just don't show up. As I said, Uche, a couple of guys, like Gottschall, Guy, they all come and made some plays early in the game. But again, but like I said, I'll take it off the line. But again, it's the guys just don't show up. Uche, Judon, last drive, money guys need to show up and make a play, and I'll take it off. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you, Eric. They're definitely missing some playmakers, and they're missing some guys missing on some opportunities to make some plays.
It's frustrating because I thought Uche was doing what I didn't think he was going to do. I mean, down the end, he was really getting pressure on those. When they had those 5 straight punts that they forced, I thought he was, active, and man, he's coming on. And I mean, I don't know if I verbalized it. I was at least thinking of it when we saw that last drive. It's just, this is it. This is, these are where the season is defined, and these big drives at the end of the game where you either close games out or if your offense is on the field and you got to get those last points. They just couldn't do it, and it was too easy. Once they started hitting those up the sideline, it feels like they got a little bit of a stride after not doing anything in the second half. So certainly it's frustrating because everything was building towards, hey, the defense stepped up and closed them out. Great job, but no, it was not to be. And I mean, you can really give everybody an equal piece of blame pie today, right? Like you can give special teams a little blame pie, you can give the offense some blame pie, and you can give the defense some blame pie.
Okay, I'm going to read the Poole report. Mike Reese spoke to Walt Anderson, the senior vice president of officiating. The first question right out of the chute was, this is kind of funny.
Do you hate the Patriots?
How did you determine that was a touchdown catch by Keelan Cole in the fourth quarter? Answer, Anderson, quote, the ruling on the field was a touchdown. Thanks, Walt. Second question, and here's these other two questions are sort of the crux of what I think Hardy and I are talking about. I think Mike is a little bit more convinced it was out of bounds. I think it was out of bounds, but I am not convinced it was. I think Mike is a little bit more certain than Hardy and me.
I feel pretty certain.
In replay review, it appeared the receiver's left foot was on the white. Was that not visible in replay? And Anderson's answer is, we looked at every available angle, and it was not clear and obvious that the foot was on the white. It was very tight, very close. There was no shot that we could see. We even enhanced and blew up the views that we had. There was nothing that was clear and obvious that his foot was touching the white. I would kind of concur with that. I think it was on the white. But I don't think there was anything clear and obvious. Hardy, am I speaking for you? Or?
I think you stated it perfectly, and it goes back to the original thing we said. How is it that they don't have still a camera pointing down that side of the end zone, just on the line? Just on the line.
And
that's all you need.
And I do think this is, to Hardy's point, you're going to get your answer to your question that you just had. Did you have a down the sideline angle to aid you in the review? And here's where I think you just dropped the ball as the NFL, and you just don't have the proper mindset. Every game should be the same.
Yes.
Right? No, we did not. Probably the best view was what we term a high end zone view. That's the one that we all thought it looked like his foot was touching the white. That's the high end view that we showed many times on replay. So probably the best view was what we term the high end zone view. TV gave us the most enhanced view that they had as well. We blew it up, and I believe TV blew it up, and there was nothing that was clear and obvious either way. Had the ruling on the field been incomplete, we would not have been able to change that either. I kind of think that that's right, but I think the bigger problem here, I have a bigger problem with the fact that, again, and I'm going to use the same snarky line that I used, if this game is not flexed out of NBC, NBC it is going to show you definitively whether or not that's inbounds or not. And because the game is on Fox instead of NBC should not be the determining factor of whether or not you win or lose.
I like that.
No, he's absolutely right. And
I'm not overstating it.
No, it's a perfect soundbite. That's why it's
no.
great.
It's a product of the production value and the inconsistency across the league, depending on what time slot you're in, what network you're playing on. It should be the same for each and every game. Lord knows the league has the money to make it that way, and they just choose not to spend it. It's not important to them. It's not. I don't know how it's not, but it's not. If it were important to them, we wouldn't be having this discussion right now.
Yeah.
All right.
And I agree with Mike. And like Patriots fans, I'm sure are going to be up in arms. I think he's out of bounds.
Yeah.
I just don't know that for sure.
Tucker Boynton on Twitter.
No.
Excluding blocked punts and field goals. Today is the only time in the NFL play-by-play era from 1994 until now that an offense has turned the ball over for a defensive score in the final 30 seconds of a tie game, let alone on the last play of the game.
Hey, setting records.
Few too many qualifiers in there for me to
really.
I mean, do I
final
really
30 seconds.
Did I really need research to know I never saw a tie game end on a multiple lateral play?
You're right.
Probably not. All right, Giovanni in Iowa. What's up, Giovanni?
Hey guys.
Hey.
I'm at a loss for words towards the end of the game. It was one of those things where I'm just like, you're tied. Just go out of bounds. It doesn't matter at this point. But there's a couple of things that I feel like we've learned from this. First of all, Matt Patricia should be nowhere near the offense. He's done. Matt Jones, can we officially say that he's regressed and that this year has just been a giant step back, and we're waiting for hopefully next year he gets his head together and Bill decides, hey, we're going to bring in a real offensive coordinator to get everything situated. And Jacoby Myers most likely has punched his ticket to Las Vegas. I mean, those are the three things that I feel like this game has taught us. But I do have a conspiracy theory for you to kind of lighten up the mood a little bit. So if I think that Billy O'Brien is making his way back to New England, mainly because the same type of struggles we're seeing in New England, they're having in Alabama. And it's very similar in terms of like the types of run plays and like the types of passing plays and everything like that. So I'm thinking that they gave the game plan to Matt Patricia, the playbook, to try to introduce it early, and Matt Patricia's just been horrible at it. So Billy might be coming back, which is a bright spot, maybe, if you believe the conspiracy theory at least. But that's all I got for you.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I do think there's a chance that Bill O'Brien comes back. I don't really think it's a conspiracy. And I know Alabama fans are up in arms about Billy O'Brien, but they score 45 to 50 points every game. Like, that's not this.
I have trouble getting worked up about Matt Patricia right now because it's not a good, well-coached team. Like, why are you putting Matt Patricia? Did Matt Patricia get the punt block? Did Matt Patricia allow them to go right down the field on the final drive of the game? Like, no question, Matt Patricia's fingerprints are all over a terrible offense that started terrible and has been terrible the whole time.
There was a lot of bad play calls today, too, though.
But this is just not a well-coached team. So you want to swap out Matt Patricia for Bill O'Brien and assume that everything's going to be rainbows and sunshine again. I think that there are bigger problems than that right now with this team. And, I mean, the mistakes, the mental mistakes, those are not play design things. And the play design is a whole different thing, and I'll go off on that too. But I just think as a team right now, and we talked a lot about it on this week, this is not a team that is playing like they're prepared, like they're well coached, like they know what to do in the heat of the moment. They keep making the same stupid mistakes, and I've been watching it for whatever it is now, 4 months. So
I'm with you.
I got
I'm
a
with
great
you, Mike.
montage running right now on the mistakes and Matt getting frustrated and the.
I mean, it's just like you expect it now. Like you don't even like you came into the game. The first drive, like 4 and out. Like I wasn't upset about that. It was like, this is what they do. This is what they do. Maybe they'll bust off a long run by Stevenson, and that'll set up some points. But, I mean, again, you get the ball at the 50. You go about 5 yards, and you somehow squeak out a field goal. I mean, these are the things we've been seeing all year long. It's not a functional offense on any level.
How bad is it now that when they start the game with either a 3 and out or if, they do manage to pick up first down, you're almost somewhat relieved that they didn't turn the ball over or screw up the punt to
or
give
get a penalty maybe, but they, the next drive they got them,
I mean, to me, the biggest indictment is when they score a touchdown. It's like, whoa.
Look at that.
It's jarring. They score 1 touchdown every game. 1. Like, it's really bad. Like, this offense, and I think Mike had another great rant there. I would say you can, and I've been sort of saying this all year, like, people are just overlooking the fact that the offense isn't good because it's just all on Matt Patricia. And I'm not trying to defend Matt Patricia because I think he had a lot of really questionable play calls today. There was a 2nd and 14 where they tried to take a shot down the seam to Jacoby Myers, and Mac just overthrew him.
Mm-hmm.
Went off one hand, but he had a play there. There was a play there to be made. Mac just didn't make a good throw. Next play, they throw like a 4-yard crosser to Kendrick Bourne, who drops it. On 3rd and 14. Like, why not try something else down the other seam? Like, you just missed it.
Yeah.
Like, it was there. There was a play there to be made, and you just missed it, right? So I just don't understand why they didn't take another shot. We talked about the last play. Well, all you need is a first down to sort of end the game, and you go backwards. Like, that's a terrible play call on 3rd and 11, a naked bootleg with a quarterback who can't run.
And how many throws, Paul, are like 3rd and long, and they are 5-6 yards short of the sticks, and everybody just closes in and tackles them. Like, they won't throw the ball past the sticks or into the end zone. I mean, the only reason they're scoring is when they get a long run outside of 25 yards, and Stevenson's able to bust it off. It's just
right. Now that was a bad drop by Hunter. See, that's when you're a bad offense. This is what and people ask me all the time, like, what do you think the issue is? What do they have to do? What do they need? And I was like, everything. That's why you're in trouble. Like, they literally have one offensive player who's been consistent, and that's Ramondre Stevenson.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to David in New York. David, you're up next here on the Patriots Postgame.
Once this week, too. Like they're running him into the ground.
David?
Dave! Leave him on hold and see if he'll come back because he's been tweeting us that we're, like, not taking his call. Like,
all right.
Oh, that's classic.
All right, I put him on hold. We'll try him again,
dude.
After James in Hartford, who I know James is there. What's up, James?
Hey, good evening, gentlemen. Thanks for having me again.
Hey,
really
James.
appreciate it. So I guess the offense is not good at all. I think Patricia gets a lot of blame, but the offense overall just isn't good. I do want to say that I believe the defense should get a pat on the back or just an honorable mention for keeping it close. And I had a question for all of you. I've been watching the Patriots since I was a little kid, and I know you all have been holding it down, covering this team for a long time. And, I just think about guys like, Ted Washington, Steve Moore, Lawyer Malloy, Otis Smith, Ty Law, McGinnis. And have you seen a difference in, like, the culture with this team where it's like you had Romeo Cornell? Was it Belichick? Were the players really good? Or, like, the type of NFL era that was? Like, what do you think the differences are between, like, I guess the team's culture of the Patriots then and now? Just curious on y'all's thoughts.
I mean, I think it's hard to speak to, like, the culture of the team. I would just say start with the players, and there were players back then that I think Willie McGinnis, Paul can talk to these things better than I can, but from what I saw from the outside, that you had a culture of guys that were experienced NFL veterans that had a certain level of expectation. around. I mean, this is growing for me, is just, are they kind of 1 foot still in the dynasty and 1 foot a new team that needs to find a new identity? And that's, something to probably ponder for the offseason. But I wonder, how long can you continue to lean on Devin McCourty and Matthew Slater? And, is there still an element of, we're the Patriots? Because you're not those Patriots anymore. And I wonder
I think there's still an element of that.
If there's still a little bit of these players who still think we're those old Patriots, and somehow it's just going to happen, because I think one good thing that could come out of a loss like this is I think it's a reset of somewhat, I don't want to say the whole organization, but it's just a reminder that this is a team that needs to learn how to win again and needs to learn how to close games out, and that's the mark of a young team. I don't know if Devin McCourty and Matthew Slater are coming back next year, but part of me feels like there needs to be some kind of changeover to say, now is your time, Kyle Duggar. Now is your time to step up, and other guys on the on the defense and offense to be leaders. Mac Jones to step up and take ownership of this team, and not sit around and look to veterans who won multiple Super Bowls and say, oh well, they know how to. If we just do it their way, we'll be undefeated and two loss seasons, and we'll be right in the conference championship every year. I don't know if they really think that way, but I think that they play that way, and it's. I mean, I think I'm getting messages from people who are super supportive of the team and a long time, and they hate this team right now. They hate what the product that this team is putting on the field.
And I don't think it's a bad culture. I think in the past, if you looked at those teams as having a quote unquote good culture, what they had were a handful of players in each of the the 3 eras of the Brady Belichick era, and I break them down into 3. That had a couple players, at least in each era, that were planet players at their position who won. And you look at that, you look at those guys, and you look to those guys as they must know what they're doing, so I will do likewise. And it was defensively in the first part of the era, the middle era where they were just going to Super Bowls but not necessarily winning. You still had Tom Brady there. You had Randy Moss. You had Wes Welker. And then at the end, you could look toward Rob Gronkowski, and Brady was still there. And you mentioned Matthew Slater. Ha, ha, ha. Here's a guy in terms of special teams is a legend within the league, but it's a special teamer, and it's not going to have the same weight as an offensive player or a defensive stud. I mean, I don't know that you can, build a culture any way other than organically. It has to be something that's real and authentic, and that ends up being the culture of the team.
I agree with you guys.
And I think the culture is built on great planet players who have won, and preferably won on the team that you are now playing for. And if they're not there, it's tough to build a winning culture. It just is. And just, that's why I think teams, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
no, I don't want to cut you off.
A team like what Buffalo has been doing so far is impressive. They haven't done it yet. They haven't even done it yet.
And
but
real
I'm
quick,
impressed that they've been able to do as much as they have.
I know Mike wants to go into that, but again, I'm not going to give. Let's just say, for argument's sake, Buffalo wins 3 titles in the next 7 years. I'm not going to tell you it's because of their culture and because of Sean McDermott. They have a planet player playing quarterback who wills his team to victory more often than not. Mm-hmm. That's what. One thing that Mike and I have, I have a little.
It's gotten me around.
I have a little snarky little response. I go, you still believe in Santa Claus, don't you, Mike?
Still believe in culture.
You still believe in the right 53, not the best 53.
Paul, if you're a good kid, they just bring you the presents.
It's the right one, not the right 53.
And I mean, just to put it into context too, you think of just the most recent, couple runs to the Super Bowl. You have Gronk making a huge play down the end. You have Stephon Gilmore making a huge play toward the end of the game to close things out. It's those are the players. Now I think that those players could still maybe emerge, but they haven't yet. And I think you're establishing a new culture here right now over the last couple of years of what this team is, and that's a team that can take it to the bad teams and still struggles to overcome the hump when they get behind or they have to play a team that's really talented. They're not on that level yet, and until they prove that they are. You can't really include them in the contender group. So I was hoping that maybe they were going to make a stride tonight. It looked like they were, almost going to just have a maybe the feel-good win of the year, I guess, all things considered. And, this is just – it's going to take a while to wrap my head around this one.
All right. Let's continue with your phone calls here. We'll go to Sad Brandon in Atlanta. He has renamed himself Sad Brandon in Atlanta. Hello, Brandon.
Man. I hate to still be sad, Brandon, but we don't seem to want to win and make me happy, so I'm still sad, Brandon, until further notice. I had one statement to make, and then a question. So I started watching football religiously in 2000. So I didn't really watch the Patriots, and obviously I'm too young for the 70s, but 80s and the 90s. But I personally think this was the dumbest play in the history of the Patriots franchise. There's just no.
Paul, wholeheartedly concur. This is way worse than the Miami Miracle. The Miami Miracle, at least, what the other team had a plan and executed the plan and got extremely lucky. This was completely self-inflicted gunshot wound. This is ridiculous.
And my question is, I don't live in Boston, so I don't know what the vibe is and what it's saying on radio. And obviously, Kraft and Belichick are the main, components to what you have to know. But how far do you think these changes, because changes clearly need to be made, will go? Obviously, 20 years of success. I don't think Belichick's going anywhere. But I mean, I don't know. I know it's got to be changes, and obviously on the field and on the sidelines. So I'm just wondering where those changes, where y'all think those changes will be made.
I mean, I think for me, I would start with Bill Belichick acknowledging that the plan for the offense this year did not work, and to himself be motivated to make aggressive changes to that setup with the interest of Mac Jones in mind. If he's not willing to acknowledge that, and if he wants to just continue this, I'd be surprised. But I think all options are potentially on the table. It's like I've said this week, it's just they haven't been a good team. They haven't been a good team in the last couple of years. And it's just a question of how many 500 seasons are you willing to accept? I think that they can squeeze 500 seasons out, but I'd like to see them try to beat good teams, and they can't do it.
I would just like to see some signs of progress. And what really has bugged me about the post-Brady era, as much, if not more than anything, is that it doesn't seem to get any better as the season progresses.
Yep.
And this particular year, it's offense. You saw them struggle, and you're like, well, they'll start to look better. They'll show signs. What do they do better today than they did 2 months ago offensively?
Nothing.
And I don't think that's.
Ramondre Stevenson is better than he maybe was last year.
But I mean,
he's the only piece of the
puzzle.
But
did he look any better today than he did against Detroit? He's a good running back.
Yep. That's it.
And I know I got in some trouble by saying I think he's the best player in the team, but he's not the difference between he's not the difference between wins and losses, because running backs by definition really don't impact games that way. A very few, a Christian McCaffrey can have a special game where he impacts the game as a receiver and do that, whatever. But it just doesn't happen that way a lot. Generally, if your running back racks up a lot of yards, and both running backs racked up a lot of yards today, and their offenses didn't rack up a lot of points, because it's hard to win and hard to score that way. Yeah. And that, to me, is the biggest indictment of the post-Brady era, is it doesn't seem to get any better as the season progresses.
Nope.
I'm going to get this over. Brandon, thank you, by the way. I have a photo that I need to get over to our crew here, which is a blown-up high-def still photo of the
Enhance.
foot.
Still can't see it.
Michael Hurley tweeted this out. And
I
said,
saw this tweet.
Here's a photo that says
definitively he's in. He's out.
He's out.
You tell me that's definitive.
I think I thought he was out, but I can't tell from that angle.
You can't tell. And I mean, if you're going to make me decide based on this,
it's pretty high def though.
He's in.
They're making me think that I'm wrong. They're showing me these shots.
That he really was out.
That he was really in.
Yeah.
You could
I can't see anything.
I just don't know how you can tweet out a shot. This is from a Getty shot that he tweets out definitively out. I'm like, this is you're just if you're a Raiders fan, you're convinced he was in. If you're a Patriots fan, you're convinced he was out. I'm sorry, it's as simple as that. And I agree with Walt Anderson. If it had been called incomplete, they wouldn't have overturned it and said he's in, because I can't tell he's in either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if we can get that up on the screen so we can all look at it together. But in the meantime, we'll go to Jack in Rhode Island. Jack, thanks for joining us. What's up?
I think everyone hit a lot of really good points. I really like your guys' point of it's important to realize that this is a new team. This isn't the Brady era anymore, and these guys got to shape their own identity. And I don't want to harp on the offense too much, but like, guys, you got to make plays, and you got to box out the receivers, got to box out the defenders and go up to the ball, and they're just not doing that. And it's hard to watch. But, no, that the whole replay, though, being with that touchdown at the end of the game was tough. It's like, you know, the league's really stuffed it up with replay potential this year, and I'm like, you guys can't zoom in on that any more than you can. So that was tough. But,
well, I guess they did, according
it.
to the Poole report, they did have a zoom in on that high end from the end zone, but they didn't show that to us.
Enhance.
Okay.
Just picture somebody like a digital, like enhance, like New York, come in, enhance. What? We can't see it.
I'm sorry. I'm reading the replies to that photo and seeing some of the things. It's like, you know, it shows clearly it's out. It's like clearly it shows us nothing definitive, and then it's, you know, it's like, oh man, there's on the take. NFL got some explaining to do. It's okay. So there we go. You know, you can, and if you're watching this, you can zoom in. Oh, great zoom shot! Great job, guys. Thank you.
I don't know how you can see from that angle. Now I know that the high end angle, you look like you can see the front of his toe.
I feel better about that.
I feel better about that argument. This angle,
this one he might be in.
This angle, I think if you're asking me what I think on this angle, I think he's definitively in.
Me too.
And again, PJ 100, 1992, Michigan State University photojournalism entry 2. The background informs the viewer's perception of the foreground. That you can, yes, it looks like it's right there. Just like if you have a mountain in the background, it looks like you're standing at the base of it. You can't tell whether he's in or out from that photo. But if you're telling me, oh, there's proof that he's out, no, it's not proof that he's out, nor is it proof that he's in.
I think I realized it's a good thing that this is what we're talking about right now, because this is just some nonsense of a call and cameras and stuff. We're not talking about the Patriots blowing that game. We're all just, oh my gosh, like you just spend your whole time talking about the call.
No, but to me, and I know that I get in a lot of trouble because I poke fun. To me, it's the essence of Patriots fans. Like, completely ignore the fact that you completely shut down an offense for an entire half and allowed them to go 9 plays, 81 yards in the last 2 minutes because
I don't remember any of that.
Maybe by a pebble. Their tying touchdown maybe was out of bounds. Don't worry about the fact that they marched right down the field. And, oh, by the way, that was second down. And they would have had 2 more cracks to get 10 yards and a first down. Right? We won't worry about that. We'll worry about, the refs are screwing us.
We won the game. We had the game won. They just wouldn't let us win it.
Clown nose Goodell. That's what I say. Clown nose.
Oof, man.
Ray in L.A., thank you for joining us, Ray. What do you have for us?
Hey, guys. Obviously pretty disappointed and upset after watching that game. I still can't wrap my head around that last play and how it ended. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about was, today we once again saw something that's been recurring the whole season with the offense, and that's our red zone offense. I'm pretty sure we're probably the worst team in terms of our red zone conversion.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure if you tracked if you rank the teams in terms of how many points they left on the board by settling for field goals instead of getting the touchdown, I think we'd probably be on the top.
Yeah, you wouldn't be there because you don't get to the red zone very often.
Yeah, I mean it's
that we've solved the red zone problem. We just don't get there anymore.
We just become completely clueless when we get to their half of the field. I don't know why. I mean, we don't have. I know we're not talented, but something could be done, right?
No, you're right. I mean, you are right. They're more talented than this, Ray. You should be. I don't care. Any NFL team should be able to run 3 consecutive plays from the 1 yard line without having to call 2 timeouts and get a false start penalty. You don't have to be talented to be able to do that. I agree with Ray. It's just self-destruction when they get down there.
Even just this sequence they were just showing here. I don't know if we highlighted that yet, but
yeah, we did when you were writing. It's timeout. Then they run another play. It's incomplete. Timeout. Then they come out and Mac calls for the signals while Jono Smith is still getting set.
It's like how much
Again,
in your own head
you don't
can
need
get?
talent. You don't need talent to run plays without penalties.
And you could just feel the tension of them like being like, oh, God, we're at the 2-yard line. We got to score.
Yeah, 0 for 1. The Patriots were only in the red zone once. That was it.
That was it. Yeah.
The second drive of the game. That's the only time they got down there.
Yeah. Ray, thank you for the call. Let's grab some of these emails, too, because we got so many coming in here. Hi, look at the video of the laterals. You can see Patricia on video with his hands up cheering the play as the laterals are happening from Stevens to Myers. He definitely called that play, or why would he be cheering like that? That is Jamie Paradas, president of Maine Salon Supply. Oh, there we go. We have all kinds of people.
I'm just going to tell you this, and I rarely go definitive on things that I don't know definitively. They didn't call that play. No. They called a draw.
Why would you?
They called a draw. They didn't call him to go out there and play a little sandlot football. Just throw it around.
At what point does he stop cheering? Right.
Oh no, he stopped cheering a long time ago. As soon as he saw Myers throw it 40 yards across the field, he said, "Whoa!"
So is he still okay? Like, can you spot Patricia down there on the sideline there in the all 22?
Perfect.
No.
I got to be honest with you. If Patricia was clapping like enthusiastically at any point during that play, it's a little silly.
It looked to me like he was doing, "Oh no!"
Like they never had any chance. Like it was a give-up call. Let's call it what it was. The draw. You should have just taken a knee if you were going to take a draw. You weren't going to run 50 yards with a draw.
No. Now, we're going to get to something when we hear from Bill Belichick a little bit later, but why not try the Hail Mary? There's a very quick and easy answer to that from the Patriots' own 45-yard line. Matt can't throw it that far.
Well, that's what Bill said. That's why they didn't do a Hail Mary.
Did we already cover that? Sorry.
No.
Okay.
No. I'm adding to your point.
Yeah.
Bill, they asked Bill if he thought about a Hail Mary, and he said he didn't think they could throw it that far.
Can you throw it 50? Can you get it close to the how long should a starting NFL quarterback be able to throw? How far should he be able to throw the ball? I think 50 yards is reasonable.
Jacoby threw it pretty far backwards, so it was just the wrong way.
You want to break, Matt? Let's break.
Thank God.
It's just. Hey, NFL fans and Patriots fans. I'm here to tell you about NFL All Day with that. Oh, what a moment. With NFL All Day, all your favorite Patriots highlights become digital video collectibles called Moments. What a moment that would make. You can buy or sell one moment in particular on a secure marketplace full of thousands of NFL fans and use them to compete in epic game day challenges. Check it out. Find some moments from all your favorite Pats players at NFLAllDay.com.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes cyber reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
$1 million for picking players? That's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half of one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes cyber reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
$1 million for picking players? That's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half of one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
Can we not give Deuce any credit for his key, though? Essentially,
the one key that you said was not valid was the one that was most valid.
I mean, dead on, too. I mean, really.
That was definitely the validest.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
All right, we are here at Gillette Stadium, even though the Patriots were. Okay, I did see the one little video clip of Matt Patricia clapping after the first lateral. It's not terrible. That's still like what it could almost be.
All right, just get down overtime. Let's get to overtime.
What are we doing? I just popped my own headphone cord out. I'm flying blind. I'm like a pilot without a windshield right now.
Like, even if he's clapping, like, does that tell you that was the play call? Like, throw it around?
All right, get down overtime. All right, get down. Let's go. Whoa.
Oh!
You guys are going off script.
Oh, hold up on that car
Jacoby.
wash, gentlemen.
What are we doing? I laugh because I hurt from this. It's a terrible loss. My God,
it is a terrible loss, Mike. I mean, listen, we work here. We're not invested in it the way the players are. But you can't lose a game like that. You can't. You can't let this happen.
And yet, it happened.
I gotta watch this stupid play for the rest of my life now.
Well, they already have like one of those next gen kind of things with the
like
audio of the Miami Miracle. Right? You've seen that, right?
Yeah. No, I always thought they edited that, like they pulled some of the audio from.
So everyone.
Oh.
No. Hey. That's all
That's
right. Let's go back to phones here.
Beat better.
And then we got Bill Belichick coming up here in a few minutes. First, David in New York on the Patriots postgame show. Patriots lose 30-24 to the Raiders in Las Vegas. I think that's the final score.
That is the final score.
Thank you very much. David, what do you got?
Said properly.
Hey, guys. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Well, first of all, I'm sorry, Paul. I didn't mean to bother you on Twitter.
No. That's why I said to Hardy not to drop you, to just put you on hold because I knew you were trying to get in. You weren't bothering me at all. No,
okay.
No worries.
I just didn't know. Never mind. Anyways, I'm kind of glad I got that time to kind of collect my thoughts a bit because I'm still kind of in disbelief that just happened.
You should be.
I mean, like, that seems like everyone was saying after the Buffalo game that was a representation of what we were. I think this really was because you had an incompetent offense. I mean, I can't reiterate how many times I was saying this is inexcusable. What were we, like 2 for 12 on third down?
Yep.
13.
You had 6 plays to go 1 yard for a touchdown and you lose 5 yards.
Yep.
Like, I feel like I'm looking more towards the offseason right now. I think Kraft needs to have a serious conversation about why did you think this would work, the Patricia and Judge experiment, and how can we fix this? And I'm gonna be another person to say I think it's Bill O'Brien. I'm not gonna say it's 100% confirmed, but I think right now that would be our answer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what most people feel. He'll come in next year and take over some kind of
wand.
take over. Yeah, what it's going to mean, I have no idea. But I think a lot of people feel Bill O'Brien will be back. I'm not positive.
I don't know if it's going to be him or not. I just know this isn't working, and I'd very much be open to someone from outside the organization who was never here to begin with. I don't know if that's in the cards for a Bill Belichick-led team.
I think that would be my preference, too. I just don't know if it'll ever happen.
As he was talking, the thing I was thinking about was that this wasn't a very good Raiders team. And I think that, I talked myself into them, at least being somewhat of a measuring stick. I think preseason you looked at them a little bit differently. But this isn't the iron of the AFC. Those teams are coming up right now.
It's the worst defense in football. This is back-to-back. You face the 31st and 32nd ranked defenses in football, and you still can't move the ball.
And so now we're going to play the three good teams in the AFC. And now you're really going to see where these Patriots line up. And not only that, but you're going to see a potentially very demoralized Patriots team going in to face a Joe Burrow team that all of a sudden just, I guess, decided to turn it on at some point in the game and then just, put up 30-something points on Tom Brady and the Bucs.
They were down 17-0. They came back and won 34. So, I think Tampa got a touchdown in the last minute. 34-23.
As much as we want to jump to, conclusions of offseason stuff now, let's just wait and see how these games go, because it could be a lot worse in terms of losing a straight up to very good teams that that the Patriots haven't been able to beat. I mean, I don't know about the Bengals, but I know what I've seen against the Bills and the Dolphins, and they ain't got the horses to compete with those teams from what I've seen. Now you're saying that this team's going to find something over the next week against the Bengals, and then reverse the script of what they've been doing against Tua and Waddle and Hill, and then Josh Allen. I mean, it's a big undertaking, and I don't think that there's a lot to play for right now. I mean, I think their playoff hopes are maybe statistically alive, but really they're probably going to be out. What kind of team are you going to see going against Cincinnati, going against Miami, going against Buffalo, teams that are jockeying for playoff position right now and need those wins? It's just if they don't find something, it could get ugly against those teams.
Oh yeah, it could be ugly, and I would say if it does start to get ugly, the best thing you could hope for is that it doesn't turn to an embarrassment. And I feel awful for the Pats fans that traveled to that game and went out to Las Vegas and made a whole weekend of it.
They're already over it. They're in the casino.
Yeah, they might be. They might be. And it was a hell of a game, and it was something to watch right up until the very end because, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing to have happened to you, and now you gotta hang that over your head for the rest of your time out there. So let's.
Well, it's just all of the indictments of where the Patriots are at right now, and I agree. They're 7-7, but at the same time, your last two games are against Miami and Buffalo, and if you don't show anything in those games, like you're not even coming out of the season feeling like you're even in the same zip code as the teams that are winning the AFC East. So I don't know if they're going to find a gear, and they're going to bounce back from this. I'm sure that this would break many teams. Many teams would probably just be like, that's it, we're done. Like this is too hard this year. We'll play out these last three games, and then we'll see what happens in the offseason. But if they do that against these teams that need to win and are looking to put a hurt on them, they will.
Let's grab one more before we go to Belichick. And actually two more. Michelle and then Mike, who's in Australia. Michelle, South Carolina. What's up, Michelle?
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Okay, so a couple things. I don't have any faith in them doing anything for the rest of the season. I couldn't even hardly watch it because, one, I don't have faith in my quarterback
That's all right, Michelle. Take your time. Use your words.
I know. I'm sorry. In order for him to get his team set at the line of scrimmage or to, not have a delay a game because one of his guys wasn't set.
But you don't put that on Mac, do you?
I do blame it on Mac.
No. So, he's not blameless, and he deserves some of the blame.
Players are. I mean, that's what a quarterback's job is, no?
Yeah, until you pull the rug out from under him in his second year in the league and give him an offensive coordinator who's not a real offensive coordinator and make him run an offense that doesn't really make sense to anybody. The entire league is looking at the offense of this team, and they're calling it out for what it is. It's an offense put together by a defensive guy. It's ridiculous. It's unworkable.
Hardy, I get it, but you have to... Did he not learn anything from Josh last year?
He did, but he's not allowed to do any of that now. Josh is gone.
By any of that, do you mean move the ball? Like, why are they precluded from moving the ball?
Michelle, I love you. I'm going to hang up now. Okay.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you. All right. Mike in Australia. Hello, Mike. Thanks for holding. What do you got for us?
How you going, guys?
Hey, Mike.
Is that a dingo?
It's a loud staffy that wants to bite my legs off.
Is that? Oh, it's not an Australian Shepherd?
No.
All right. Okay. What else?
If you're the Kraft, how are you feeling after this game?
More ownership talk. I still don't think it changes anything about Bill. But they've got to be having a conversation, don't they?
I think if you don't have a conversation about it, if you weren't thinking about it beforehand, does this change anything?
That's what I was thinking about.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think it could.
I mean, I don't want to say that you should overreact to one play, but I think it's indicative of the kind of team it was, and I don't think the play itself, but I think the play is a symptom of what the team is.
Embarrassed once by getting moved out of prime time for this game. Doubled down on the embarrassment by the way that play ended, and it is going to be shown on a loop.
Yep.
For the next 24 hours minimum.
Freaking Chandler Jones.
Mike, it's a good question. Thanks for the call, buddy. All right.
Yeah, they have to find a way to generate some offense because, this, and I know it came about in a wacky way, but you extend that 25-point thing.
Wacky stuff.
Can't win a game if the other team scores at all.
Yeah.
Really.
No, that's it. You said it.
No, we had him at 13. I thought that was it.
Speaking of Bill, let's hear from the head coach here. And before we do, we thank Microsoft Surface. Whew, hang in there, buddy. Almost there. The official sideline technology provider and laptop of the NFL and the New England Patriots, providing players and coaches with the tools to succeed both on and off the field. Check out the powerful Surface Pro 8, combining the power of a laptop with the flexibility of a tablet at surface.com. Here is the head coach.
Just collectively we made too many mistakes and gave up some big plays that were obviously the difference in the game. So we just can't do that in this league, and it cost us. So got to work to eliminate those and continue to play the good football that we played, but we just had too many mistakes and too many bad plays to win. So that was obvious.
Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press on that final play. I know it was a draw play. Was it instinctive on Ramondre, or was he given the green light to pitch it if he had an opening?
We made a mistake. Play didn't work. Made a mistake on play.
Bill, over here on this side here on the block punt, what did you what?
Yeah, it's another mistake on the play.
And was that the snapper on it, snapping it too early?
It's a mistake on the play.
Bill, on the final play over here, I know you said there was a mistake. Jacoby took accountability for that, saying he knows better than to throw the ball back across the field. Was there any coaching point after you had called the draw to say if the play's over, just fall down or go out of bounds?
Yeah. Well, obviously that would have been better the result.
Was that said?
Yeah, look, we've talked about situational football. We talk about it every week. But we got to do a better job playing situational football and not making critical mistakes in the game.
Bill, your left. The Keelan Cole touchdown, what did the refs tell you, and did you agree with their decision?
Yeah, was there a Poole report?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
14 games into the season, still delayed game penalties. It seemed like guys were having trouble. Hunter Henry, it looked like he couldn't hear the play. How disappointing is it that this late in the season still having operational issues with the offense?
Yeah, we need to try to eliminate all the mistakes we made. All of us. Yep.
Bill, on the red zone play where you called, I believe Ren down the sideline called a timeout. What did you see that you didn't like that led you to call the timeout?
Yeah, we didn't really have the play right.
Is that a situation where I think you've talked in the past where it looked like he scored a touchdown on it, that maybe it was the result didn't match necessarily the play?
Yeah, the whistle blew before the play was run, so we didn't have the play right, so I took a timeout, so we didn't have it right.
I didn't hear the whistle.
On the sneak soon after that, Bill, there's a false start. Is Max supposed to wait for everybody to get to the line? Was Jonnu a little bit late? How did that happen?
Yeah, it's obviously a mistake on that play, too.
Bill, in the final play, situationally, how do you weigh what was called as opposed to taking a shot at the end zone?
Taking a shot at the end zone.
Yeah, like a Hail Mary, 55 yards
Couldn't
away,
throw it
getting
that
it as
far.
deep as you could.
Yeah, couldn't throw it that far.
Bill, what's the message to the team after a loss like this, and what's the challenge for you in keeping things moving with 3 games left?
Yeah, we just have to eliminate those mistakes, and we just gave up some critical big plays. So we need to eliminate those. Keep making the good ones and stop making the critical bad ones. Okay.
All right, there we go. It's Bill Belichick there at the podium after the loss to the Raiders in Las Vegas. You know, I agree with you, Paul, as we're sitting here watching it, that I think Bill's doing the right thing and a commendable thing by not throwing any individual players under the bus on certain things. Where you and I disagree is, once again, a call about what were you told about the call for the touchdown that, you know, is the in-out call or something like that. How was it explained to you? He was having a very animated conversation with one of the officials. I don't know if it was that. No,
it wasn't on that play.
No, it wasn't on that play. But still, he is told something on a play that's being reviewed.
Right, but you're asking Bill to tell you what the referee said when you have the ability to talk to the referee and see what the referee said himself. But that's what he's saying. You had the opportunity to ask him any questions you wanted to ask him.
I'm right here. What did the ref tell you? You ever heard of a Poole report?
I'm not even sure that he talked to the ref on that play, but he may have. But like,
what?
I understand. Like, I think Bill is evasive for the most part in postgame. One of the few areas that I think he's right on is when you have the opportunity to ask a question yourself, go ask the guy. Go ask yourself. That's what the Poole report is for. That's what that mechanism is in place for. You have the ability to ask the referee what he said to Bill Belichick. So if you want to know what he said to Bill Belichick, you have the opportunity to ask him.
Right? I don't give him the credit or the pass on that, because sometimes the questions are specific to, did you agree with that explanation or something like that? And
if they ask that, that's different. That's a different question.
He's
asking what the referee told him.
All he's going to do is not answer. And in that case, I thought it was a fair question, and he just uses it as another. It's
everything.
just another way to be evasive.
He does that with everything,
and not
he's
answer.
Evasive.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think that's okay. I think it's okay that he doesn't answer anything ever. That's all. Whatever.
I don't think
be used to it.
I don't think he's.
He's right. Yeah, Poole report.
No, I think if you're asking him what the referee said, when all you have to do is ask the referee what he said, you had to ask him.
The mouth of babes, Chet.
He makes the call, not Bill. That one very small, minute difference. I agree with Bill.
Yeah. Why would
other stuff?
You're right. Why would I lift a finger?
If I'm Bill
Belichick, if I'm Bill Belichick, why would I lift a finger to help you out in doing your job, which is essentially to glorify and exalt people like me and to make me billions of dollars?
But that's exactly why he doesn't answer it, because it's your job to ask him. That's why he's not doing your job for you.
No,
that's
he's
exactly
not.
What
He's doing nothing for you at all. The reason why he makes $25 million a year is because
it's
guys
not,
like that.
It's not because there's a Poole report that you don't get the question answered.
No, it's 100% because there's people that are paying that much attention to his sport, and that's the part that he fails to. He thinks in a vacuum what he does is worth $25 million a year. Okay. That's the problem. That's the problem I've always had with this guy and his attitude.
Okay. I get it.
Now we can break. That's right. Why would you ever go out of your way to make someone's life easier? Isn't that what Thoreau said?
Yeah, right.
What is the meaning of success? to make things harder on the little things, to treat other people like crap, to know that one life has breathed more difficult. That's what it means to be a success. There's your head coach.
Hey, Patriots fans.
Do you want to sponsor or do you want to skip it? Hey, Pats fans. Here to tell you about NFL All Day. NFL All Day, all your favorite Patriots highlights become digital video collectibles called Moments. Not only can you buy Moments. Not only can you buy them and sell them on a secure marketplace full of thousands of NFL fans, you can use them to compete in epic game day challenges. Check them out. Find some moments from all year on. They are very cool. Go to NFLAllDay.com.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes cyber reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
$1 million for picking players? That's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half of one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes cyber reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
$1 million for picking players? That's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half of one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
All right, he's been so bad, the pre and post. I mean, we just started the post game already.
Fine, I just won't talk.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
All right, a few phone calls here. We'll go to David in North Carolina. David, you're on the Patriots postgame show. What's up, David?
Oh, hi, gentlemen. Well, I got a coin phrase for the last play of the game. I don't know if it will be like a butt fumble or anything.
Yeah.
I would say Sin City lateral, maybe.
Sin City lateral.
Too wordy.
Hardy went with crap out.
Crap out.
I like Hardy's the crap out, but somebody's got to name this game. It's going to be named.
It doesn't have that. I mean, the butt fumble is perfect because that's what it was. It was the butt fumble game.
Right. Fumble off a butt.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wanted to work lateral into it somehow, but maybe somebody out there's got it. But
anything else, David?
Yeah, I do have one other question.
Okay.
So I think I remember reading an article way back in the beginning of the season that explain that the reason why there's no official offensive coordinator position has been named is because if that was the case, then the previous team wouldn't be able to pay for that person's contract. And I want to know, is it just really a money-saving thing that Belichick came up with, or is there a little more to it than that?
I think it's part of it. I don't know how much of a part of
No,
it.
but he is the offensive coordinator.
Well,
Like they just
both him and Judge are being paid by someone else.
Yeah, but the reason that they're not named offensive coordinators is because they're getting paid by somebody else. But they are the offensive coordinator. You didn't have to do that. Like he didn't have to be. True. They didn't have to make a defensive coach the offensive coordinator so he wouldn't get paid by somebody else.
Right.
That's true. Yeah, I'm with you there.
Right.
Do you think the Kraft bought off on that plan, or is that just Bill?
Yeah. Say, I mean, look, if I'm sure Bill can be very convincing. You know, he can.
Well, what was the quote that Robert had in the offseason? Like he's done unconventional things and they've worked out in the past. I'm paraphrasing, something like that. So I think that they have trust in I mean, the guy has done nothing but win for 23, 25, whatever amount of years. How many years is it now? 22, 23 years.
Yeah.
He's done nothing but win.
Yeah.
So I think Robert looks at it and says, yeah, you know, I'm quite certain I've earned a little latitude. Right?
I'm quite certain that I've earned it too.
You know what I'm saying? I think that Robert might look at it and say, yeah, I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but you know what? I didn't know if it was the right thing to have like Troy Brown playing defensive back, and you know I didn't know if it was really the right thing to do when you know we never gave Drew Bledsoe his job back, and we stuck with you know what I mean? Like there's been things that he's done that maybe were a little bit unconventional.
But when you pepper in, it's like, oh, by the way, you don't have to pay him a dime, and also we don't have to like go through the time and effort of interviewing a bunch of candidates to fill a coordinator position. Which is what you have to do. I'm not saying that the Patriots would ever shy away from doing anything that would adhere to the Rooney Rule, but if you're just talking about a time-saving measure and a money-saving measure, and Bill convinces you he's the right guy on top of it, then yeah, I'm all on board. It's not working out.
Yeah.
What do you want? It's not working out.
You know, just real quick, I'm seeing, you know, more and more. Evan said this too. I mean, it sounds more like the players just kind of did the lateral thing, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's really any doubt about it.
So do we tie that? Is that going to get tied to last week's story du jour, which is that the players, they don't trust the coaches anymore. We have to do it ourselves. Like that kind of thing. Like, is that going to dovetail into that?
I do wonder, you know, like, and I had someone email me, and this is a guy who emails me a lot, and he's sort of out there a little bit. He calls them the insurrectionists. Like, they just went rogue, and this is what they did, and it's another sign that they openly rebel against the coaches. And, you know, like Greg Bedard, you know, he's on the Sports Hub right now in postgame. Did you see this quote? Yep. I'll read this for you, Hardy. I guess he opened up his stint with the postgame show with Big Jim Murray. I would not have been surprised if Bailey Zappi started the second half. I thought Mac Jones in the first half was terrible, insubordinate, acting out, lost his mind. Like, so that's what he was talking about. I know that a lot of people don't have a problem with the open like even like the pass that Hunter Henry dropped today. The hands go in the head. Like, I get it. And once in a while, like I think Derek Carr did that on the play that he had Matt Collins deep on.
Yes.
Like, but I think it was more on himself because I missed him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he overthrew him twice.
Yeah, and then the play that they had the crosser to Devontae Adams that Waller ends up coming because that's poor design. But this was a coach off. This was such a poor game in terms of everything that happened.
All right, two more calls and then to the quarterback here. So we'll go to James. No, that helps. Austin in Michigan. What do you got for us, Austin?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. So, after a tough loss like today was, if we don't plan on making any moves to add to our team, like obviously Odell Beckham Jr. stated he's not going to come back, do you think it's an option or a possibility for the Patriots to just put Zappi in and start him and just kind of see what we got?
I don't know.
I wouldn't rule anything out right now, but right now I'd be very surprised if that happened.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be one thing if they did make a switch at halftime today and he came in and played well. Then you could make a case for him to start the final 3 weeks and see what happens. But to just start him flat out next week against Cincinnati, I don't think so.
I mean, I do look forward to hearing Greg Bedard state his case for this, though. I will listen to that wholeheartedly.
That'd be fun. But first, we're going to listen to Mac Jones, his post game right now here on the Patriots Postgame Show presented by Cyber Reason.
Just take us through that last play. How stunning was it, and what were you guys thinking on that play when you came out of the huddle?
Yeah, I think we just got to finish better, and obviously tough situation and falls on all of us, and we just got to do better. So it is what it is, and tough way to go out, but we got to just watch the tape and get better.
Mac, Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press. David had said that it was a called draw play. Ramondre takes the ball. Was he told to initiate a pitch play if possible, if there was something he saw, or was he told, do what you can and then go down?
Yeah, I think you just have to ask Coach Belichick. Obviously we have a plan for the end of the game, and I just didn't do a good enough job there, so I have to watch the tape and get better and do all the things, so we don't even have to be in that situation.
Mac, you're in the position as Chandler sort of catching the ball, and can you take us just into that moment and the possibility of wrapping him up? Did you feel like there was a chance to do that, or is that sort of a shocking situation to find yourself in?
Yeah, I got to tackle the guy, and it's on me, and it's my fault. So if we tackle him, or I tackle him, then we play for overtime. So it's on me. Got to make that not good enough by me. So it is what it is, and just got to tackle him and play for overtime. So that's on me.
Mac, Jacoby said just a few minutes ago to reporters in the locker room that he was just trying to be a hero, trying to do too much, I guess. How much do you feel for him on that play?
Look, I think Jacoby's one of the best teammates I've ever had. And he's a fighter, and he does everything he can to try and help the team. Obviously, you'd have to ask Coach about it and see what our plan was. But at the end of the day, the guy's out there fighting and trying to compete to win the game. And there's a lot of things I could have done better in the game, like I said earlier. So we're not even in that situation. So when I don't play very well, we're in that situation, and it's terrible. So it's tough, but I love Jacoby and I love all the guys on our team. It's not Jacoby's fault. I think we just got to watch it and see what we can do better.
Max, situationally with what you practiced at that point in the field, was a Hail Mary completely out of discussion? Was that in your mind going into that play that it could have been possible?
Yeah, I think Coach Belichick makes the coaching decisions there. So we put a lot of emphasis on it and work really hard at it, but just got to do better execution as players. And yeah.
Back in the first half, when you guys weren't able to punch the ball in near the goal line, what can you pinpoint for what went wrong in that situation?
Yeah, I think we just got to score more points, and early, just a play is a play, and I didn't execute enough good plays today. So if you don't do that, then you're not going to score, and just a tough situation definitely falls on me, and got to be better, and I'm going to watch the tape and do what I always do and just try and get better. So tough deal, but just got to keep working.
Mac, knowing the stakes of this game and your playoff chances and how you seem to have this game at the end, is this the most painful loss you've had?
Yeah, I think we want to win every game that we play in, and as a competitor and as a team full of competitors, we want to, have a better result. And it stings, and it's going to sting, but we got more games to play, and we got to turn the page and keep fighting and don't quit. That's the one thing we can't do is quit, and just attack each day and come together as a team and do everything we can to become a better team.
What, if anything, on that note, was the message from Coach Belichick in the locker room after the game?
Yeah, I think that's personal to us and our team, and obviously we're all disappointed, players, coaches, myself, everybody. So just a tough deal, and we put a lot into it, and love all these guys on this team. And we got more games to be played, like I said, and we got to watch the film, learn, and get better. And it's tough to say that right after the game, but it's really all you can do. So I'm disappointed and want to do better. So.
Mac, you were very complimentary of Jacoby as a teammate. What can you share was your message to try and console him after the game? And coupled with that, how do you hope you respond now with what's at stake for the final 3 games?
Yeah, I think, like I said, Jacoby's one of my closest buddies, and he's a great dude and he's a competitor. So he's going to keep working, and it doesn't fall on him, falls on all of us, falls on me. We're all in this together, and we love each other. And it's what it comes down to, is coming together and building and just trying to do the best we can. And yeah, we just got to watch it and get back to work here and just keep working. Thanks.
All right, there goes Mac Jones talking about not only the final play, but just everything else from the day. And just very quickly we got a bunch of emails we didn't get to everybody calling in. Say, Cole's foot was clearly out of bounds, right?
Yep.
No, not clearly. No. Say Paul and I, we think maybe Deuce thinks you're, yes, clearly out of bounds.
I think so.
Okay, I say no, it's not clear. Paul?
Yeah, I didn't see it definitively. I think if they had called it, they would have overturned it.
All
I
right.
mean, they wouldn't have overturned it if they had called it the other way.
Yeah.
I think the league has to do something about it. And like I said, if you're asking me what I think he's out. But I can't tell from that look.
Not from that one.
It's a great shoe ad, though.
Let's think about it for 6 days and then meet back here on Christmas Eve. What do you say?
That sounds good. I'm going to wear a Santa hat.
What time you want us here on Christmas Eve day?
10:45.
10:45?
Show's 10:45, so.
All right, I'll be here.
10:44.
I'll be here at
Just
10.
like this time.
I'll be here at 10:44, and we'll do a show starting at 10:45 as the Patriots play host to the Bengals on Christmas Eve. To everybody involved in today's pre- and post-game shows, we thank you very much. Any final thoughts in 10 seconds or less, Deuce?
Nope, that stunk. See you next Saturday.
Just an awful, awful way to lose.
All right, final score for the final time, Patriots 24, Raiders 30. That's for you, Paul. Thank you for listening and watching.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.